All right, welcome everybody. This is the first of a weekly series that we're going to be doing internally with our Wake Forest career team on better understanding the data. One of the things that I've not done a very good job with on the front end is communicating where we're at with the data as it relates to Power BI and some of the insights that we've been able to glean from this process. So this is an attempt to help with that. Now, from our previous calls that we've had, there's been a lot of congruent and alignment around the idea of data, communication, and technology. And we all know how important the data is, and it's becoming more and more important as we move to a data-driven environment. And no one could imagine a year ago that we would have gotten this level of data so quickly. And so the two people on this call, Ashley, Mallory, Patrick, Mike, many others, have been instrumental in getting us to this point. So we thank them for their participation. So as we're moving to a data-driven environment to make better informed decisions, we want to be able to use technology that will enable us to see these insights. And the ones that we've used is through Power BI. And at this time, we want to be able to communicate in a visual way how to get more comfortable within Power BI. And we're going to turn it over to Ashley at this time so she can go over some of the basics, and then she'll turn it over to Mallory to go into some specifics about the information we've seen, and then I'll close with a couple of follow-up items. Ashley?
Thanks, Stuart. So Mallory, we'll start sharing the screen. Give us 1 second. So one of the most common questions I get is, how do I get to Power BI? So if you go to powerbi.microsoft.com, you can then select Sign In. Right here, you will type in your WFU email address when you get the sign-in page. Since we have single sign-on, you will sign in again with your Wake Forest email as if you're signing into Google. You may have to do the two-step verification, especially if this is a more recent time that you haven't been on there and haven't accessed Power BI through your email. It's going to ask you. I encourage you to actually click Stay Signed In. That's very helpful so you don't have to go through that process several times. I know I stay in for a lot. When you get in, you may look like this, where you have all of these teams, but you only need to worry about one. And for this demo, we're going to talk about the MRE OPCD coaching app. So that's the green one, and that's the one you should go to. It's going to automatically default to where the first thing that pops up is your daily handshake activity reports. And then underneath that, you'll also see that we'll have the first destination reports for FY17 through FY19. We will soon be updating with FY20 in the middle of this month. And Mallory, I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Okay, so the report that we're going to go over a bit today is the daily handshake activity report. This is the report that you see me updating in Slack all the time. So we're just going to briefly run through what you see and not get too in depth on any of the pages, except I will highlight the available postings page, because right now that's a really helpful page for students and coaches alike. So the landing page is updated on a daily basis. It tracks the number of Mind opportunities and the number of applications those Mind opportunities have received. Everything is measured in the since the start of spring break, the first Saturday before spring break, and it's all aligned over the same day number, and we list that date there. So you can interact with any graph or visual this way by just hovering over and looking at the box that comes up. We call that the tooltip, or you can click this to focus on it and see it more closely, and then it's easier to access a single day. Or you can look at the data and export the data as a spreadsheet. You can also click on show as a table, and then you can see the data written out this way as well. So there's multiple different ways to view the information, and you can use whichever works best for you. And so as I mentioned, this is the available postings page. This page is really helpful because it takes into account several different factors that we've used to determine that these jobs are good jobs for students. So like I said, you can download the information here and look at it. I'll also show you how to use that in a more pragmatic way in a minute once we're done looking at that. The program analysis page is really helpful for coaches that are working primarily with one program or for coaches that are from the college side. So you can click on a single program, and I'll highlight the MSBA's today. So that obviously just counts all the applications, and since you've only selected MSBA, that's what will be going on. 58% of the MSBA students are applying, 80% are logging in, and you have your total number there as well. It also tracks the unique number and how that's changed over the last 3 years, and we'll see that the visual down here is the same from the first page and that it's changed quite a bit. Employer analysis is our newest page. It was discussed yesterday on Slack. It's mimicked after the employer page that Handshake produces, but we tailor it to be more aligned with Wake Employer Network employers and those that are employers who have extended offers to Wake students, so we know there's established relationship. You can also look at just one industry. You can look at tiers. This visual is very helpful because you can interact with either specific employers or with an industry, and you can see the top employers in the Wake Employer Network that are posting in a given industry. And we can see how sort of limited these opportunities are, unfortunately, right now, but this does take into account all the postings that have occurred in that 50-day period that we're dealing with right now. This page is one of my favorites because it really shows what's going on in a year-over-year comparison. We can see sort of how activity has trended. So it follows the same color coding that we see on the first page. So the green is the job posting, the purplish blue represents applications, and the turquoise color represents logins. You can hover over a given date and see what's going on and see the change in percentage. You can also see the average daily change in percentage, which is very helpful too, that we're seeing login activity is up overall. Applications are a bit down, but job postings are pretty significantly down as we look at this job market. And you can also see how those numbers have changed over the last couple years, and this is all dealing with the same time period. The calendar is a reference if you need it. It shows how the dates are aligned, and I've now set it to where we're looking at 91 days, but right now I think we're around the 50 range. Yep, we're right around 59, so we're just gonna pass into 60. And then the insights page acts as a daily blog, so I just put in the insights that I see as I update. You can scroll through that and see how the insights have changed, or the latest one will be at the top and the latest one will also be on Slack. So the available postings page, like I mentioned, this is a really great page for coaches and students. And so we've designed this page out so that it can be downloaded by coaches and shared with students. So to download, you're just going to click on it. You're going to click those 3 dots, hit export data. Now I recommend having it come through as an Excel document. It's a bit easier to save and interact with. And you can go ahead and hit export, and it's going to download for me. It does download as data, so you can change it to name whatever you would like. I'd recommend if you're sending it to a certain student, it might be helpful to save it as the student's name with a date, or to download it with a date. So when you get an updated version, you can override it or delete that older version. Download to an Excel spreadsheet that you have to make sure that you select to share on Zoom. And then it'll download with the link to the job posting. And like I said, let's say, for example, you're working with a student who is interested in internships. You will click enable editing, and then make everything spread out again. you can go ahead and just select internship, and we will just go ahead and select, we'll do this one because this will take us to a WFU sourced opportunity. And the job link is right there. So you'll just copy this job link, and I'm going to shift the share over. You just copy and paste that job link, and it's going to have me log into Handshake. All right, so for a staff member, it's going to go to the staff screen. For a student, it'll go directly to the student screen. If you're a coach and you want to see it from the student side, which I do recommend doing, we can go to our favorite Anita job, or you can go to the student you're working with. And of course, view as this user. And then you can go ahead and just repaste that link. And it'll take you to the job from the student side. So similar to the WFU sourced opportunities, we can't guarantee that all of these jobs are still live. We're doing our best effort to make sure that they are. But even if they're not, and a student sees a job title that is really aligned with what they're looking for right now, I still recommend that they go to the job link and check it out. Because as you scroll down, you'll see more opportunities that might align, but you'll also see similar jobs. So Handshake, as the owners of this software, have much more control over the algorithms they can design out. So they are going to pull jobs that are similar based on other elements in this posting. So students can use this to look for jobs that might be available, because we know with this job market right now, things are shifting really quickly. And even if the job that they saw on this list is no longer available, I still highly recommend that they check out these similar jobs to see if one of these are available. So that's the way that that page is designed to be used. It's really designed to just be directional and a guide, and it's trying to highlight some of the roles that we've had students already show interest in, and that we as the ER team feel are job titles that are most aligned with what students are currently seeking right now. All right, and I will hand it back over to Stuart so he can close us out today.
Thank you, Mallory and Ashley. I appreciate your tutorial on how to use that service. As you can see, there's a wealth of information available to coaches and students, and there's been a lot of work and effort that's been put toward this. Now, I would also like to say that as we're in this data on a regular basis, there's various insights that we'll be able to glean from this information, and we want to be able to share that with you. As Mallory shared within Power BI, it's going to be listed in kind of a blog format on a daily basis. That information is also going to be shared in our Slack data channel that will be available for folks to get that information. And then we would also encourage any of you that would like to participate in a group session to better understand Power BI, that we would welcome the opportunity to work with you all in a more of a group setting to help you with some of the details of operating within the system. So again, this is the first of a weekly session that we plan on continuing as long as it's needed as we're moving into this more data-driven culture. And we want to enhance our ability to communicate, and we want to share these technologies and how it can help you as a tool of better connecting to the market and to students as well. Until next time, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great week. Thank you.